Hey guys, my name's Kantcho Doskov. I'm a gameplay producer on FIFA 14. So this is a completely revamped system for Locomotion in the game. Now Locomotion is our lowest level system in FIFA, which means everything above it follows what changes we make. Meaning that we have to rebalance dribbling, we have to rebalance positioning, all of the other systems in the game. Now Locomotion is fundamentally how players move around the pitch, and by changing that, and it is a completely new system. It's a new technology called step-based locomotion, where we change how we build the animations, so step by step rather than canned or blending animations. So it allows the user to have the responsiveness that he had in previous years, but it also allows for the visuals to really stay true to football. So you see the weight shifts, you see the accurate foot planting, you see the momentum preservation, so you can't just sprint and stop on a dime or turn 5 different directions in 2 seconds. It really takes time, as in real life, to slow down and speed up. And that's what football is about. If you can get your opponent off balance, if you can make him think that you're going one way but you actually go the other way, and it is those subtleties, those just small changes in weight, just leaning one way or moving one way, and then it takes time for him to go back the other way. So that's what we're going for. Okay, so we've had error in our shooting system for several years now, so every shot is imperfect, but often it wasn't clear why that shot went off, why it didn't hit the target. And now with the new animations, it's more obvious. You notice that, oh, okay, it's because the ball was behind the player and he had to dig it out from underneath him. Oh, it's because he got tugged and he had to play an off-balance shot. The animations now show the reasons why there was error on the shots. It really matters how the player adjusts his stride to take the shot. So now with the realistic foot planting, every step counts, and every step counts in how the player steps next to the ball and actually shoots it. So when there's time, a player will adjust his stride to take that perfect shot on. When there isn't enough time, if you press the button late, or if there's a lot of pressure and you just don't have time to adjust yourself, then we have new animations that show that you're a bit more off balance, or you're having to stretch for it, or trying to dig it out from underneath your feet. So it's a neat game mechanic because it forces you to think a little bit in advance, like when should I take my shot, when should I take a first touch and then shoot it, and your player will adjust accordingly. Dribbling is something that we really spend a lot of time balancing with our locomotion system, because you don't want locomotion to be slower or faster than dribbling. It's got to be balanced. So with dribbling, we added a ton of new animations, especially from sprinting. And now you'll notice that if you sprint full speed and you try to change direction, you're going to feel that momentum. It takes a few steps and you get back to the ball, and these are all brand new animations. You can sprint dribble in any direction that you want. And you've never been able to do that before. In FIFA, it was always capped at 22.5 degrees. Even if you were pointing 90 degrees, we would just sort of slightly adjust you. And now you have the ability to go 360 degrees, but you will feel the effects of the momentum. You can't just turn a corner on a dime. You have to slow down and do that, which is more realistic. As far as the net physics go, we've done a lot of work in previous years to make it more natural, and we haven't done anything this year to improve on that, because we do feel it's in a good state. There is definitely room for improvement. Over the next few years, I think that's something we can definitely make better, but it's pretty good, I feel. And yeah, as far as that goes, it's staying the same way as it was last year. One of the problems I always had with the game last year was that you just couldn't take a throw in fast enough. Your player would pick up the ball, he would go into his position, he would lift it up over his head, then he would choose a direction, then he would throw it. And it wasn't seamless enough, it wasn't quick enough. So we've added a brand new set of animations, which we call quick throw-ins, while the player is running to that position. So he picks up the ball, wherever the user's pointing, that's the way he'll, all in one motion, just put it over his head and throw it. So it's really cool when you get it to work, because you can catch the opposition off guard. You can get that throw in, to go wherever you want it, much faster. And it's one of my favorite new features in the game. So we did a lot of research during our pre-production phase of FIFA 14, looking into actual ball physics papers and try to analyze what we have in our game and how is the real world data different, and what is what are we missing from the equation? Because we do have a ball physics model in the game. We have had that for the last few years, but now we've added in this new data, this new research that we've gotten our hands onto, which actually helps us understand what happens to a ball when there's no spin on it, how it moves in the air, like the knuckleball shot. That's how we were able to get that new type of trajectory into the game, as well as the curving shots. It's something that happens so often in football. Rarely you'll see like a shot that's perfectly straight, and that's what we wanted to get into the game, a bit more unpredictability and more movement to the shot. Defensive AI was a big concern for us this year, because last year we had some feedback that it just wasn't intelligent enough, and we've really done a lot of work this year to improve the marking especially, so how players stick with their man. We had flaws in our logic last year where if on one frame the defender changed his mind and he thought that somebody else was more dangerous, he would just go there. But then if on the next frame it was another man, he would sort of get stuck in two minds. And so now we've created new logic where we analyze who you need to mark over several frames. So is that my man? Yeah. There's another threat. I'll check one more. Next frame. No, that guy's more important, so I'll stick with that guy. So improved our marking logic. And that's helped out immensely in our defensive AI. So players are much more intelligent, how they track back, how they pass on marks to their teammates, how they stay with their marks. And also we've tightened up marking, so it's not as loose as it was last year. So now it's much more difficult to just pass the ball to your striker and turn. The defensive AI will push up, they'll close down that space, so you won't be able to just turn and shoot and get an easy shot on goal. So when you do get that perfect strike, it feels that much more rewarding. We've retuned the acceleration and deceleration of how players reach their top speed or turn, and especially for players who are very quick at accelerating, it'll be much more noticeable how explosive they are from a stop. So personality does come through a lot more with this new system, because you're really going to feel slower players taking longer to accelerate. But I mean, that's just the way it is in real life. Those are the main improvements in terms of AI. We've also added the second chance tackles, which is the ability to launch a tackle, but also like sort of branch from that tackle and into a second tackle, which is an idea that we got by looking at reference of some of the best defenders, how they sort of stick their foot in, and if they don't get it, they try again and try again, and they're ruthless. They always just try to get the ball, and it might not be on the first attempt, but they keep trying. So that's how we created this second chance tackle system, where you can branch from one tackle to another. It's a really great feature, which you really feel like you're in the moment. Several members of our gameplay team working on this new system for the last 2 years, and we decided not to put it in FIFA 13 because it's a completely brand new system and it takes so much time. I mean, we're still working on it. It's not even final in the build that we have there. It's a big task to get into game, and it's really had an impact. It does change the way you play. All right, guys. So FIFA 14 is coming out on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC on September the 27th in the UK.